Hi, I'm going to tag this, I'm going to add an extra session to these videos, like I said at the end of the last session, just because there's some chords that are kind of scary. And I wanted to take a little extra time instead of just tacking it on the end to help you to understand that those chords that are big and long, like F sharp diminished, and you know, you go, oh my gosh, and sometimes you can't even find them on the chord chart, are actually pretty simple to do. So in this session, we're just going to do just a very simple, straightforward step using the Bisquick method, which is not world known. It's I made it up. So maybe someday it'll be famous, and maybe someday it'll make me famous, but I don't think so. But it will definitely help you. So we're going to add a PDF to this one that you can place on your keyboard that'll help you with little notes that will help you remember the rules to do these chords. So let's get started. Okay, I was going to tag this on to the last lesson, and I thought it was important enough to make it a really short next session because there's not just white key chords. The ones that I never could play were the ones on the black keys. I always had to dig out the chord chart, and I always had to you know, memorize them if it was in a specific song that I was playing. When I realized the Bisquick method that I invented, I don't think there's anybody else in the world that ever has even thought about this, but I realized that when you add things to this mix, that it makes a lot of different things just by adding some sugar or, you know, blueberries, or putting, you know, some other spice in it, and depending on what the recipe called for. But the basic premise was always using this product, and I think that's what has made Bisquick so popular, is because people, you know, like I was young, I couldn't cook, I didn't know how to make anything. But actually this is what helped me survive for a while, because I could make a lot of really cool things from not a lot of, you know, effort. So when we've talked about the basic white chords, the basic 7, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. All right, but there's 5 black notes that also have chords that have to be made into chords. There's a C sharp chord and a D flat chord. There is no D sharp chord, but there is an E flat chord. So this one is called E flat. This one covers 2 chords, F sharp or G flat. This one, no G sharp chord, but there is an A flat chord. There's no A sharp chord, but there is a B flat chord. All right, there's also a C flat chord, which is B, and that's it. Okay, so that's 15 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay? Basically, you can just say to yourself, I have to learn 12 chords. Once from C to C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right there. And if someone says to you, how many tones are there in music? You're going to tell them there's 12. That's why on spinet organs there's 13 pedals, there's 2 C's, but there's 12 tones, 12 pedals. And that's all there is in music. All that changes after those 12 tones are the octaves. That's a C tone, that's a C tone, that's a C tone. So 12 tones in music, but the pitch changes. You can change them. So once you learn the 12 tones in music, then all you're going to do is change the pitch after that. So now let's talk about crazy chords like these that make you go, oh my gosh. You're playing along and all of a sudden one of these jumps up at you. C sharp diminished, A flat minor, C sharp augmented. Are you kidding me? So all you do is take a deep breath and go, I can do this. And let's start with this one. C sharp diminished. Say it with me. 3 words. C sharp diminished. Pancakes, Bisquick, milk, eggs. See, I have to put all 3 of those steps into the bowl. And I was going to do that. I was actually going to make a tray and put those things on there, but I thought, nah. And then I get the pancakes. So now, instead of seeing this as one horrendously confusing chord and hard to remember, I'm going to see it as Bisquick, milk, eggs. That's it. I know the rule for this, right? I know how to make a C chord. I know how to sharp that whole C chord. And I know that I have to flat the third and the fifth to make it a diminished. So see, you have to know the rule, and then you can make the chord. Okay, so let's try this C sharp diminished chord. First, I'm going to sit here and calmly go, I know a C chord. Okay, let's do it in the root position just because it's easier to see it. All right, now the next thing so I can cross that C off now. It's the Bisquick is in the bowl. Now I'm going to play a sharp. The sharp means don't sharp just the C. It means sharp the whole C chord. So one at a time, I'm going to calmly go sharp that, move this E up to F because there's no black note there. There's the C sharp chord. Remember a few weeks back we talked about how to do that? Just raise the whole C chord a half step. Now, diminish means to flat everything but the C sharp. The C sharp now is the name of the chord. So I just take these two notes and move them back where they came from. Now, if logic sets in and I'm looking at this chord, anytime I see a C sharp diminished, it means I only have to sharp the C note and I get C sharp diminished. Same with F, watch. F sharp diminished. Those are probably the two chords you're going to see the most in the sharp diminished department. Okay, let's make another one. Let's play a D flat diminished. So we play D, D. Remember, got to put that sharp in there. There's the D. Now I'm going to make it D flat. I'm going to flat every note. And now I'm going to diminish. I'm going to leave the D flat alone. There it is. Now I would have never found that chord. And some chord charts wouldn't even have it probably. If you have a basic easy play book, it wouldn't even be in that book. Okay, so look how easy that was. And I'm really proud of myself to boot. All right, let's try F sharp diminished inverted. Here's F. It doesn't matter right now because I should recognize first, third, and fifth now though. Here's first, and then the other two, 5, 3. So now I'm going to make it an F sharp chord. Sharp everything. All black notes. Okay, now I'm going to diminish it. Leave the F sharp alone and flat the other two. Whoops. Yeah, that's right. All right, so see how easy it was? Now let's try this chord. A flat minor. One of my students told me a joke once about what do you get when you drop a grand piano down a mine shaft? A flat minor. You could put that on the Ellen show and she'll tell it on Easy Joke Wednesday or whatever that is. Okay, A flat minor. First I'm going to do is I'm going to play an A chord, and you have to remember that that A chord has a sharp in the middle, okay? Now I'm going to make it an A flat chord. I'm going to flat every note. Okay, there's A flat. Now I'm going to make it a minor. Flat the third. Take the C and move it back to B. There it is. Okay, A flat minor. And you can learn the chord by saying it as you do it. A Bisquick, A flat minor. There it is. All right, let's do one more. C sharp augmented. Okay, I'm going to play a C chord, then I'm going to sharp the C chord, and then I'm going to augment it, which means sharp the fifth. So first I'm going to look at this. I'm going to go, okay, C chord. Sometimes it's hard to tell where the first, third, and fifth are if you're in the C sharp position, but now I'm going to recognize it. Here's the first. The note to the left is always the fifth. Okay, so now I'm gonna make it a C sharp chord. I'm gonna move that up a half step, that up a half step, and this one. Okay, that's still the fifth, the G, all right? If I can't remember, God gave me 5 fingers for a reason. C, D, E, F, G. If you spell the chord and you can't, and your head just goes, ah, I'm blank, use your fingers really fast. C's the first, C, D, E's the third, F, and G's the fifth. So it works really well. Okay, so the fifth is G, and to augment it, I'm going to take that note, the G sharp, and I'm going to move it up again. That's C sharp augmented. So let's do a horrendous one. Let's do a B. Let's do an A flat augmented. Okay? So here's A. Flat, flat, flat. And then sharp the fifth, which is here. There it is. So you have to know the rules to make this work. So let's go over the rule one more time. The rule for a minor chord is flat the third. All right? If you're playing in the root position, flat the third and you get a minor. Diminish means to make smaller, flat the third and the fifth. Augmented means to sharp the fifth. Okay, and it raises you up. Okay, now I'm going to put a PDF on this lesson too that you can download. If you fold it in half, it has the rules that you can sit on your keyboard. And it will make things a lot easier if you can't remember the rules. So it comes with the book, but if you didn't get it or you would like to have it and you don't have my book, I hope you do get the book, because then you can sit down and go over this with me every day with the book to help you. So I want you to just try these this week, and don't worry about these kind of chords yet. You, like I said in the last lesson, you really can live your whole life without ever playing these. If you just learn the majors and the minors, you'll be fine for a very long time. But it's kind of nice to know that once you get those easier chords, these really aren't so scary. And the next session, when we start talking about the numbered chords, I have a really cool way to teach you how to learn the numbered chords. We're going to start using the circle. And in lesson, I think lesson 5, there's a PDF, and you can download a circle and print it up and cut it out, and we'll talk about that more. But I have a lot of teacher friends that teach chords, and I learned the chords, but I never really knew where they went, how they worked together. And you never really have a song with just one chord in it. It has to go somewhere. It's called a progression. So in the next few weeks now, these numbered chords are going to set us up to learn about the progressions. Where do chords go? If you're just doing an unnumbered chord, a C chord usually goes to F or G and the circle. And you can hear them. An augmented chord usually resolves to another chord, minor chords. See, so you don't just learn a C minor chord. I want you to learn to hear what might come next. So when you want to play by ear, or you're just sitting noodling, and you know, if you're in church on Sunday, you might hear the organist go. That they were playing for the offering was too short, then they might just stretch it out. It's kind of like Hamburger Helper, because I'm using food. They can just stretch out that song by just adding some chord progressions in there that sound really nice. Okay, so this week, this is a really good place to make a break here. Until you get this under your belt, you might not want to watch lesson 7 and on for a while, or this is lesson 7. You might not want to watch the next one until you really got this under your belt and get it. Okay, take a deep breath, and now you pretty much got it. Until you want to learn the numbered chords, you could stop right here, but I don't want you to. But I want you to take a break here and say, okay, I'm not going on until I'm comfortable. And a lot of teachers just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and I was, for years, I was very guilty of that. I thought it was so easy that you could just get it in a week. Well, you really can't get it in a week. So if you've been studying along with me, and I'm sure most of you work, I'm finding that the majority of the people that are watching these videos are my age, or have always wanted to play the piano, and now they're just trying to get online to find people who could teach them, or they don't have access to a teacher, and they're using the internet. I'm learning how to crochet on the internet now, and I have to watch the videos like 15 times before it soaks in and I'm actually able to do what they're trying to teach me. So remember that with this. Don't watch it just once and go, oh, I don't get it. Watch it multiple times. One of my mentors years ago said, repetition is the core of learning. And she drilled it into my head. You have to hear it over and over and over, and pretty soon, if you watch it enough and you stop the video while you're practicing, now with all the little pads, the little tablets and cell phones and things, you could put it right on the piano or the keyboard and play along with me. So I want you to slow down right here. It's a really critical point, and there's rules to remember. So I made this little card, and it will be on our website as a PDF. And this one's how to play chords, and this is the basic 7 inversions. But on the other side are all the rules that we've talked about. Now, this section over here on numbered chords we haven't done yet, but I added it to it so we don't have to make another PDF. But here's the basic 7 chords. Here's the recipes to make them sharped or flatted chords that we talked about today. And here's all the other chords. The rules to make minor, diminished, augmented, and suspended, which we haven't talked about yet either. But all you have to do is just fold it in half, just print it up, fold it in half, and just sit it where you can see it. All right? You can make it as large as you want. You can post it on the wall, whatever. And I think you will find it to be a very helpful aid to you at this point in the music. So check out my books on sacramentomusicgroup.com. You can send us emails, and I try very hard to answer them. If you order my books, I usually get them out within a few days, and I always do first class mail. I don't do media. So by the next lesson, after you order the book, you should have the book in your hands. So if you live overseas, though, be patient, because sometimes the customs slows it down. But I do send everything first class and try to get it to you right away. So enjoy where you're at on the way to where you're going. And another really cool saying, you're never going to be as good as you want to be, so enjoy where you're at. Music never ends. You're always going to want to play better. But just enjoy the process and have fun.